Let's be honest. You felt it before, that tiny spark when your eyes meet hers and everything else seems to fade away. You think it's just a coincidence or maybe your mind playing tricks on you, but deep down, you know there's something more, something unspoken, something raw that neither of you is brave enough to admit. And that hesitation, that fear of vulnerability, it's killing the connection before it even has a chance to breathe. You see, most men get lost here. They chase signals, overthink every word, every glance, every laugh, trying to decode something that's screaming right in front of them. It's like standing in a room full of fireflies and thinking you need a telescope to see them. There's a subtle dance happening between you two, a silent conversation that's more revealing than any text, any casual joke, any carefully planned date. Women, whether they realize it or not, communicate with their energy, with micro-expressions, with the way they linger near you or pull away just enough to make you notice. And here's the kicker. The same applies to you. Your body language, your tone, your hesitations. She's noticing them all. The moment you stop trying to hide, to act indifferent, to play the I don't care game, is the moment she starts to feel it too. Think about the last time you shared a laugh that didn't feel forced. The kind of laugh that burrows into your chest and leaves you a little breathless afterward. That moment wasn't casual. It was a crack in the wall both of you have been building, a secret admission of interest without words. She felt it. You felt it. And yet neither of you said anything. Why? Because admitting feelings is terrifying. Vulnerability is a weapon that cuts both ways. It can bring you closer, or it can burn you alive. And most people avoid it because the stakes feel too high. But here's the truth. Avoiding it only makes the tension, the desire, the unspoken attraction grow heavier, like a storm cloud hanging right over your heads, waiting for someone to speak first. And while your brain might scream, "Walk away," your body betrays you. That small pause when her hand brushes yours, the way her eyes flicker when you mention something meaningful, the way her voice softens when she's around you, it's all proof. Proof that both of you feel more than you admit. Proof that this isn't casual. Proof that the story isn't over before it's begun. Most men miss this entirely because they're trapped in logic, in rules, in what they should do instead of observing what's actually happening. The signs aren't loud, they're quiet, almost shy. They exist in the spaces between words, in the pauses that make your heart race and your mind spiral. Now here's the dangerous part. Both of you know it. And that knowing becomes a silent tension that pulls you in even when you try to resist. The irony is that your hesitation doesn't protect you. It intensifies the attraction, makes every glance more electric, every accidental touch more meaningful. This invisible energy is what psychologists call mutual recognition without confession, a psychological pull so strong it can't be ignored. And the moment one of you finally dares to speak, to acknowledge it, it feels like unlocking a door that's been closed for years. But until then, it exists in this charged, unspoken limbo. The most confusing part isn't that you feel something, it's that she feels the same thing. And yet somehow, both of you act as if it's nothing. You've noticed it. The way she laughs a little too long at your jokes, the way her gaze lingers on you just a fraction too long, the tiny gestures that seem accidental but aren't. You're not imagining it. She's not imagining it. There's a magnetic pull at play, a tension in the air, and it's as real as your heartbeat. But here's the truth that most men never realize. The very act of denying it makes it stronger. Pretending indifference is the perfect trap. You've probably been caught in this before. You see a woman looking at you, and instantly your mind begins spinning with scenarios. Does she like me? Is this just friendly? Should I text her, wait, or pretend I don't notice? That hesitation, that overthinking, is part of the dance, and she's doing it too. Women are masters at masking feelings, often because admitting attraction puts them in a vulnerable position. And yet, the body doesn't lie. Her posture shifts subtly when you enter the room, her voice changes when you speak, and there's an energy that can't be faked. Every shared smile, every accidental brush, Every lingering moment is her way of testing the waters, seeing if you feel it too. Here's the harsh reality. Men often miss these signs because they're too focused on words, on logic, on what should be happening. But attraction, real attraction, is felt before it's spoken. It's in the pulse of a glance, the hesitation in a handshake, the way conversations stretch when neither of you wants them to end. And when both of you feel it, but neither admits it, it becomes an unspoken agreement, a silent acknowledgement that exists just beneath the surface. It's intoxicating, confusing, and often terrifying. The mind screams, "Say something," while the ego whispers, "Don't risk it." And so nothing happens, yet everything happens at the same time. Consider the last time she leaned slightly closer during a conversation, the way her hand seemed to hover near yours longer than necessary, or the subtle teasing that made your chest tighten. These aren't coincidences, they're psychological signals, small admissions of interest, and the more you notice them, the more electric the tension becomes. But here's the catch. Noticing isn't enough. If both of you continue to hide behind hesitation, the attraction will grow restless, almost painful. That silence, that refusal to admit your feelings, creates a loop where desire builds but cannot be fulfilled, and the emotional weight becomes almost unbearable. What most men fail to grasp is this: the unspoken attraction isn't a weakness, it's a doorway. The tension, the hesitation, the small, almost imperceptible signs, they're all invitations to step into something deeper. But you can't step through while pretending it doesn't exist. You need awareness, you need courage, you need to recognize that the signs are there, not as games, but as genuine indicators that both of you feel more than you're willing to admit. And once you truly see it, once you understand the psychological gravity pulling both of you toward each other, the choice becomes simple. Do you remain silent and let the tension linger indefinitely, or do you acknowledge it and step into the reality that's been waiting for both of you all along? You've felt that pull, that undeniable tension, and wondered why it doesn't just get resolved. The answer lies in psychology, in the way humans react to attraction when fear and pride get in the way. Both of you are caught in a paradox. The desire is real, intense even, but admitting it feels dangerous. Vulnerability is risky, rejection is terrifying, and yet, the more you hide your feelings, the more your subconscious leaks them through actions you can't control, and she does the same. That's why the signs are everywhere if you know how to read them. Start with attention. Real attraction is hard to fake. When she truly likes you, she notices the smallest details, the way you tie your shoes, the words you use, the emotion behind your laughter. And it's not just noticing, it's remembering. She'll bring them up later, almost casually, to test if you're aware. And here's the subtle genius. You do the same without thinking. You catch yourself remembering the curve of her smile, the way her hair falls over her shoulder, or the exact tone of her voice when she laughed at something only you understood. Both of you are scanning for evidence that the other feels the same way. Then there's timing. Have you noticed how she seems to coincidentally appear when you're free, or respond to messages faster when she's interested? And it's not just her, your own mind betrays you the same way. You find excuses to reach out, to linger, to create moments that don't need an excuse. These aren't conscious strategies, they're psychological breadcrumbs, proof that your brains are on the same wavelength. The universe isn't conspiring here. Your mutual attraction is, and it manifests through micro-actions that neither of you can entirely control. Watch body language. When someone has feelings, their body speaks before their words ever do. A slight lean forward, a mirror of your posture, a hand that hovers too close. It's a subconscious declaration of interest. Both of you are doing it, but neither admits it. Your heartbeat spikes when she laughs near you, when her eyes meet yours for just a fraction too long, and hers does the same. That shared physical response, that almost imperceptible alignment, is a sign far stronger than any spoken confession. And then there's the pull of conversation. When both of you have feelings, every interaction carries weight. Silences feel heavier, Words feel charged, small jokes feel intimate. You can feel the tension, the curiosity, the longing, all of it boiling beneath the surface. The mind races to interpret every nuance, every phrase, every glance, because it knows there's more than just friendship at play. And because both of you are trying to hide it, the intensity compounds, creating a psychological feedback loop that makes it almost impossible to ignore. Here's the harsh truth most men never admit. Noticing the signs isn't enough. Recognizing her subtle admissions, understanding the timing, decoding the body language, these are just the first steps. You must also confront your own fear, your own pride, and your own hesitation, because both of you already feel it. The question isn't whether she likes you. The question is whether you're brave enough to act on it. And until you do, that silent tension will continue to grow, heavier with every unspoken word, every avoided glance, every withheld moment of courage. The hardest part isn't feeling it, it's living with it. That silent tension between you and her is a storm that neither of you can control, and every day you ignore it, the pull grows stronger. It's intoxicating and maddening at the same time. You notice her more than anyone else. She notices you, and yet both of you act as if nothing exists. That hesitation, the hesitation to admit attraction, creates a pressure that can either destroy or ignite something extraordinary. Most men never see this for what it really is, a psychological signal that the connection is real, deep, and dangerous to ignore. Think about the subtle tests that happen naturally when two people feel something but won't admit it. She'll throw in playful teasing, a tiny challenge, a test to see if you're paying attention, to see if you care. And you respond without realizing you're doing the same, offering small challenges, subtle jabs, hints that you're more interested than you let on. This isn't manipulation, it's instinct. Humans are wired to test attraction subconsciously, to measure interest without risking outright vulnerability. Every unspoken glance, every half smile, every seemingly accidental touch is a psychological experiment happening right in front of you, and both of you are participating without realizing it. Then there's emotional mirroring. When two people secretly like each other, moods synchronize, energy matches, laughter resonates at the same frequency. You've felt it, an unspoken rhythm where conversations flow without effort, where silences feel comfortable, where even disagreement feels strangely intimate. That's not coincidence. That's your psychology and hers intertwining, creating an invisible thread between you. The more you resist acknowledging it, the tighter that thread becomes, almost painful in its intensity. And when one of you finally moves closer, makes a gesture, or drops a hint, the tension snaps like an electric charge. Let's talk about fear, because it's always there. Fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of overstepping. These are powerful psychological inhibitors, but they're also proof. Fear exists because something significant is at stake. If there were nothing between you, there'd be no hesitation, no heart racing, no sleepless thoughts about what she's feeling or thinking. The very fact that both of you are cautious, deliberate, careful with words and actions is evidence of mutual attraction. Your subconscious knows it. Hers knows it, and until you acknowledge it consciously, that tension will remain, a quiet storm brewing with unspoken desire. Finally, consider the magnetic pull that grows in moments of shared vulnerability. A glance that lingers too long, a story that touches you both emotionally, a moment when laughter fades and you simply exist together in silence. These are moments where the truth surfaces without words. Both of you know it, and both of you feel it. And that's the dangerous, beautiful part. It doesn't need confession to exist. The tension itself, the psychological connection, the unspoken acknowledgement of desire becomes a living force between you. It waits, patient, until one of you is brave enough to break the silence. But here's the ultimate insight. Understanding this tension, recognizing the mutual pull, isn't enough. The unspoken attraction will not resolve itself. It thrives in silence, It grows in hesitation. It deepens in avoidance. To honor it, to truly move forward, you must confront it. You must step into it. Otherwise, it remains forever suspended, a tantalizing electric almost that neither of you can escape, no matter how hard you try. At this point, the signs are all around you. If you've been paying attention, you already know that she feels it, just like you do. But recognizing the signs isn't enough. You need to understand the triggers, the subtle behaviors that confirm the connection is mutual. Because when both of you have feelings but no one admits it, your brains are constantly testing each other, pushing boundaries in ways that feel innocent on the surface, but are loaded with meaning underneath. Start with proximity. Notice how she finds reasons to be near you, even in crowded spaces. It's not coincidence, and it's not subtle manipulation, it's her psychology at work. Humans are wired to gravitate toward what they desire, to seek closeness, even unconsciously, and your behavior mirrors hers. You find excuses to linger, to brush against her, to enter the same spaces. These small acts of closeness, repeated over time, are powerful indicators that both of you are drawn to each other, even if neither dares to admit it. Next, observe responsiveness. When you speak, she reacts, not just politely, but with engagement, with interest that goes beyond casual conversation. Her tone changes, her expressions shift, her body subtly aligns with yours. And it's not only her. You catch yourself leaning in, nodding more, laughing a little louder, subconsciously matching her energy. This mirroring isn't learned behavior, it's an unconscious signal that attraction exists. Psychologists call it behavioral synchrony, and it's one of the most reliable indicators that two people feel something more than friendship. Then there's emotional vulnerability. She will let small cracks show, confessions of frustration, subtle sadness, or moments of insecurity, and you do the same, often without realizing it. Vulnerability is the currency of attraction. The willingness to reveal what you usually hide is a sign that trust is forming, and trust is always paired with desire. Both of you are testing whether the other will respond with care, and in those moments, the truth leaks out without words. Notice the teasing. Playful banter is a psychological tool, a subtle probe to gauge boundaries, spark interest, and create tension. She teases you just enough to make your heart race, and you respond instinctively, not just with words, but with posture, tone, and subtle smiles. That reciprocal teasing isn't random. It's evidence that both of you are emotionally invested, even if neither wants to acknowledge it openly. Finally, observe how your attention shifts. When someone has feelings, their mind prioritizes that person. You notice details, remember small things, and anticipate reactions. She does the same. You're both subconsciously scanning for signs, analyzing every glance, every smile, every touch. That heightened awareness, that constant mental engagement, is proof of mutual attraction. It's subtle, almost invisible to anyone else, but undeniable to you both. Here's the reality most men overlook. These behaviors aren't games, they're signals. They're the language your subconscious uses to say, I like you, I feel this connection, I'm waiting for you to step forward. And until one of you acts, the tension, the longing, the unspoken energy continues to build. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff together, both terrified and exhilarated, both waiting for the other to jump. The signs are everywhere. You just need the courage to see them, understand them, and act before the moment passes. The tension you feel isn't a curse, it's a signal. It's proof that both of you are invested, that both of you feel more than you're willing to admit. But here's the truth, most men never understand. Feelings don't act in isolation. They grow, they fester, and they become a quiet pressure that changes every interaction, every glance, every word you exchange. The difference between regret and connection isn't luck, it's action. Recognizing the signs is only the first step. Acting on them is what transforms tension into intimacy. Start by embracing your awareness. Every lingering glance, every subtle touch, every mirrored gesture, it's all real. Both of you feel it. Denying it only prolongs the silent suffering and intensifies the longing. Imagine for a moment what would happen if you stopped overthinking, stopped hiding behind ego or fear, and simply acknowledged the chemistry. The weight of unspoken desire lifts immediately, replaced by clarity and power. That clarity gives you the ability to navigate the emotional landscape without panic or hesitation. Then, focus on courage over comfort. The unspoken attraction thrives on fear. Every time you resist admitting it, you feed the tension. Every time she resists, she does the same. But courage doesn't need to be dramatic. It's small, deliberate actions, a smile that lingers, a touch that communicates intent, a word spoken honestly rather than hinted at. These gestures break the cycle of avoidance and signal to her, subconsciously and consciously, that you're ready to move beyond hesitation. Courage is contagious. When one of you acts, the other follows. Next, trust the psychology of mutual recognition. You've seen the signs: proximity, attention, vulnerability, teasing, and heightened awareness. They're not random. They're proof that both of you are on the same page emotionally. When both people feel something but refuse to admit it, the universe, or rather your subconscious minds, creates patterns that nudge you together. Recognize these patterns, respond thoughtfully, and the tension transforms from uncertainty into intimacy. And understand timing. Waiting too long doesn't build suspense, it builds anxiety and doubt. The longer both of you linger in silence, the more the mind invents reasons to resist, the more insecurity creeps in. But when you act intentionally, aligned with the signs you've been observing, the connection blossoms. That first acknowledgement, spoken, written, or expressed through action, releases the energy both of you have been holding back, and it creates a moment neither of you will forget. Finally, remember this. The unspoken pull isn't just about desire, it's about emotional resonance. It's about recognizing that someone sees you, notices the parts of you that others miss, and reacts in a way that proves they feel it too. Both of you have been dancing around this truth, but the moment you act, the dance becomes a shared rhythm. The invisible tension becomes tangible connection, and what was once frustratingly unspoken transforms into an opportunity for intimacy, trust, and clarity. Now here's something for you to think about. If attraction equals awareness multiplied by courage, what's your number? Drop your answer in the comments. And while you're at it, like this video, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this truth. Because the moment we stop denying what we feel is the moment everything changes.